From the City of Charleston apologizing for its role in slavery to the 3-year anniversary of the Mother Emanuel tragedy to politics, I sit down one-on-one with Judge Alex Sanders for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores, or listen to this interview later on the free iHeartRadio app. Judge Sanders, it's so good to see you again.
I'm glad to see you, Quintin.
Yeah, it's been what, 4 years now?
It's been a long time.
Catch me up and tell me what's going on with you.
Well, I'm doing the same old. I'm still teaching school 4 days a week, practicing law with my daughter 1 day a week.
Wow.
So I have a pretty full schedule.
Yes.
We specialize in the law practice and whoever walks in the door. So we see all kinds of people.
And you talk about having a busy schedule, that is. Obviously, you were at Charleston City Hall last week.
Yeah.
When the resolution was passed to basically apologize for their part in slavery. You said this during the city council, you said this quote, "We all enjoy the benefits every day of what enslaved people were compelled to produce. At the very least, we can say we're sorry. Unless, of course, you're not sorry. You can let us know by your vote," unquote. Talk to me about those benefits.
Well, that's what I felt. That's the way I felt about it. You know, people say, well, I never owned a slave. That was a long time ago. I don't have anything to apologize for. Of course, the apology was not for any individual. It was for the city. And the city had a very active role in slavery. The city wasn't just a passive player in the institution of slavery. The city maintained, among the more disgraceful things it did, a slave house where masters who didn't have the inclination to whip their own slaves could bring their slaves there, and the city would charge them to whip the slave for them. And that was a major source of revenue for the city. It wasn't a small thing. The city issued slave licenses and slave tags and made probably between $500,000 and $1 million a year out of slavery, the city itself. So when we live in the city of Charleston today, even though we never owned a slave, nobody ever did that's alive today, we all enjoy the benefits that slavery produced for us. We were in City Hall. Slaves built City Hall. Slaves built the streets of Charleston. Slaves built the docks. Slaves built the Battery. We all enjoy that today. So whether we like it or not, we can't avoid being connected with slavery. And at the very least, I think we should say we're sorry. Just simply say we're sorry. Now, the city voted that it was sorry by a vote of 7-5, so that means, I guess, 5 people were not sorry.
And let me stay on the City of Charleston. Obviously, right down the street here is the Mother Emanuel AME Church. 3 years ago, the tragedy took place at that church. Where are you emotionally 3 years later?
Well, I had an unusual connection to that, even though I was more than 1,000 miles away. I was in Indianapolis, Indiana, making a speech to the Indiana Bar Association at the very moment that hideous man walked into a Madian church and started shooting. I was telling them how much progress we had made in the South. I told them about the public accommodations and the fact that black people were welcomed in Charleston and all the things that we have done. At one time, we didn't let black people vote. We do that, of course. And I was bragging about it a little bit, that things were much better. At the very moment that terrible tragedy was taking place, making me think sometimes that whereas we've made some progress, not much. Much is left.
You talk about progress. Let me take you to 2 weeks ago. Obviously, politics ruled this entire region.
Yep.
When you think of those primary results and now the runoff tomorrow, what plays in your mind?
Well, I hope that the results of the democracy will be to foster progress and further understanding, but it will be in very small increments, inch at a time. And how it turns out, not so much tomorrow, but in the general election, I suppose will be indicative of how much progress we are able to make.
Judge Alex Sanders, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoyed
you.
being with you.
Likewise.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime.